Hi, I'm Preston I. Snoggle, and this is the Never Lost Watches YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today, I wanted to give a rundown of the state of my collection for 2025, and towards the end of the video, I wanted to give a little context into what this channel is, how I plan to use it, and how I plan to grow the community of watch enthusiasts through using this channel. So stick around towards the end of the video for that and for an opportunity to learn about a watch giveaway that I'm going to be doing in a future video. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the state of the collection. So let's go ahead and dive into this thing. And first I'm going to start out with what is on my wrist. Right now I'm rocking the Casio G-Shock Square DW5600. I bought this watch due to hype, transparently, and while it works great and feels indestructible, I really don't wear it all that often. It's a great watch. I love the theory behind it of being just this indestructible, tough watch that can go anywhere, do anything, dive. It's got a timer, it's got a stopwatch, it has a countdown timer, it's got the day and date function on it, it's got an alarm. It's an overall awesome watch. I just haven't truly bonded with it. Everyone says it's something that you need to have in your collection, and while I agree with that to some degree, I don't necessarily grab this all the time. If I'm out doing yard work or I'm out working out, this isn't necessarily the first thing I grab. So it's a great watch. I don't see any reason for it to leave right now. Maybe I'll bond with it a little bit more at a later date, but for now, this is just not a watch that I necessarily gravitate to every single time, but it is still a good watch. So the next watch we're going to talk about here is the Casio, I call it the greenie, but the Casio MW240 in green. This is a great little beater watch, and this is actually what I grabbed for more than my G-Shock, shockingly enough. It's a $10 watch that I got on Amazon. It's entirely resin, it's got a plastic crystal, but it's an overall great beater. I think this watch just looks so cool. It's kind of wide, it's about 41 millimeters across, so on my 8-inch wrist, it is a pretty big boy, but I love this watch. I think it's such a cool design. There are multiple different variations of it, and I'll throw the specs up on the screen, but I just think this is a great watch. It's thin, I can wear it almost anywhere. It is a quartz watch. It's not the most accurate thing in the world. It's not the best built in the world. It's extremely legible though, and is just an all-around great watch that I love wearing. So the next watch I want to talk about is the Casio AE1200, or as the fans call it, the Casio Royale. So the reason it got its Royale nickname was because of its resemblance to a high-tech Seiko worn by James Bond, actually Roger Moore, in the 1983 film Octopussy. So this is a world timer. You can track up to 4 time zones at once. I have it set to my current time zone, but this is an overall great watch. I put it on this NATO and I wear it all the time. I actually got this through a gift card at work, and I got it because it was going to be free and just wanted to try it out, and I ended up loving it. I think it looks great on the wrist, especially with this NATO strap. It's a great size, and I think it's an awesome travel companion. For only 35, 40 bucks wherever you can get it, it is a fantastic piece. The light on it is excellent at night, and it's just such a cool design. So to round out the Casio collection, next watch I want to talk about is my Casio Duro. This watch I bought, again, due to hype, kind of as a beater, and I ended up falling in love with it. It works great. The design is fantastic. It feels completely indestructible and is just such a high quality piece for $50. And I think if you're looking to get your first dive watch, this is a great piece to start with. I have it here on a Jubilee that I got from AliExpress for, I think, a whopping $7. I wear this watch all the time. This is one of my top 4 watches that I actually wear. And it's just an excellent quality watch, analog, and keeps really accurate time. The bezel action is great, and I just think the overall design of this watch is so cool. It's familiar, yet it's unique to Casio. It's not too thick, and it looks great on the wrist. It's got really good finishing on the sides, top, bottom, and the bracelet actually makes it look even more expensive than it actually is. It's another great travel companion, and I don't see this leaving the collection anytime soon. All right, next man up. We'll start talking through some of my Seikos, and we'll start with this one. This is the Seiko SBSC009 GMT. This is a JDM special, the actual one that you can get in America, made for America, and most of the rest of the world is the Seiko SSK023 in black. This is just an awesome watch. This was actually my first real mechanical watch that I ever purchased. I saw it back in 2024 and immediately fell in love and scoured the internet just to try and find it, and I ended up buying it on eBay from Japan for about $415. And I believe this is a true homage. So a lot of people use homage interchangeably with clone, and this is an example, I believe, of a true homage. You can see subtle cues to the Explorer too, but this watch has its own personality with the orange hand, and it's actually based on a Seiko 5 field watch, which is why it has the 24-hour markers on the inside as well in this outer steel bezel. I wear it on my engagement day, and I don't ever see this leaving the collection, and I just absolutely love this watch. It's a strap monster. It's very accurate. It is a collar GMT, which some people don't necessarily love, but I absolutely love this watch. It's so easy to set. Changing the date is a breeze. It is a push-down, pull-out crown. It's not a screw-down crown, but it does still have 100 meters water resistance, and it's a great everyday watch. All right, next Seiko in the collection is my Seiko King Turtle. Again, I bought this watch on a whim on Facebook Marketplace for $300, and I ended up putting it on this, again, AliExpress Jubilee bracelet, and I think I wear it on the rubber all the time, I wear it on the bracelet all the time, and I absolutely love this watch. It has quickly climbed into my top 4 of my collection. I bought it last summer, and I wear it pretty interchangeably with my Casio Duro as my beater. I love this as my mechanical beater watch, and I think this is just a great, great turtle. I love the ceramic bezel. I love the sapphire glass. This one has pretty good alignment on the bezel. Keeps awesome time while you're wearing it. It's not as accurate when you just leave it in the box all day. It ends up losing probably, I'd say, 10 seconds, to be totally honest with you. But it's much better than the stated spec by Seiko, and I love this cushion-style case design. I think it wears really well on the wrist. It can suit a lot of people's wrists, even though it is 44 millimeters across. The lug-to-lug is only 48. So this could go on even small wrists under 7 inches, all the way up to an 8-inch wrist. I have a 7 3/4-inch wrist, and I absolutely love this thing. It looks so good. It's such a unique Seiko design. Again, it is a top 4 in my collection, and I find myself grabbing for this thing a lot more than I initially thought I was going to when I purchased the watch. Excellent, excellent watch. And if you're looking for your first mechanical Seiko, I think this has replaced the SKX left in the Seiko line, and it's just such an awesome piece that I highly recommend everybody, if you're just getting into watches or if you've had a lot of watches, give this one a try. So rounding out my Seiko collection is the Seiko Baby Alpinist right here, the SPB155. I bought this watch because I loved the design of the dial and the overall explorer nature of this watch. Specs of it are fantastic. 20 meters water resistance, 38 millimeters across. It's got the updated 6R movement on the inside, which a lot of people complain about and moan about, but I love the movement in this. It's very accurate on this piece specifically, and it's just such a unique design that is so inherently Seiko. I prefer this to the larger full-size Alpinist just because of the simple design. And I ended up buying this on a whim for $350 on Marketplace. I fell in love with that dial again. It's got a 70-hour power reserve, that upgraded 6R movement, and what I think is actually a pretty good bracelet. People poo-poo Seiko bracelets a lot and shit on them, and I just think they're excellent bracelets. This bracelet in particular, it's not rattly. It's a little rattly, but it's got a milled clasp. No micro adjust in the clasp, unfortunately, but it is a really, really good watch. I wanted an Explorer, and this kind of ticked all the boxes for me in terms of price, looks, and everything. And unfortunately, it's just not something I wear as much anymore as I used to. And it's actually on the chopping block to fund my Grail piece that I actually am going to show here in a little bit. But it looks so great on the wrist. This, again, is another strap monster from Seiko. The dial catches the light beautifully. It's got really strong lume. I really like the cathedral hands. The date window is pretty nice and is well integrated into the dial. I just think it's an overall awesome, awesome watch. And if you're interested in looking at one of these and you're in between the Hamilton Khaki field and the Seiko Baby Alpinist. This is what I would recommend to a lot of people, just given the specs and overall price. All right, moving on to its biggest competitor, the Seiko's biggest competitor. This is the Hamilton Khaki Field Murph. Again, this is another watch I bought on a whim. I'm a sicko, and I got it for $400 on Facebook Marketplace. I am addicted to that place. Don't ever go there, but if you do, be sure you do your research before you buy a watch. But I ended up buying this on there. I bought it due to the hype again, and I also wanted a Swiss watch. I had never had a Swiss watch before, and this was to help me kind of scratch that itch. I loved the design of this. I love the movie Interstellar, but that's not the reason I got this. I got this watch because I loved the design, and that's usually my philosophy when I'm going to buy a watch is I like specs, and I think specs are important, but the design to me is the most important thing. Design of the movement, design of the dial, design of the overall watch is just something that I'm really attracted to and is what is most important for me when I am watch shopping. And this design just really spoke to me. This watch has the Powermatic 80. They call it the H10 from Hamilton, but this is really just a Powermatic 80 movement. It's very, very accurate. This runs within 5 seconds a day and is just a great overall daily piece to wear. It's a little bit more on the dressy side, but it's still pretty casual with those more yellowed hour markers and yellow hands, and it's just a great watch. I don't wear it as much as I used to, but it's still very versatile, and I don't see it leaving anytime soon. Fits great on relatively larger watches and smaller watches alike, at least the 38 does. I tried on the 42 and I actually didn't love it on my wrist, and I have a relatively large wrist. I think this just sits better. It's a thin watch, and it's just a great, great looker. Get a lot of questions and comments from people specifically about this watch. A lot of my friends ask about it all the time. It looks great on NATOs, looks great on leathers. This is a leather strap that I got off Amazon with a deployant clasp. It's like $15, and I can link it in the description, but overall, this is just an awesome piece that I love wearing on a day-to-day basis. I will be doing a comparison of the Hamilton Khaki Field Murph and that Seiko Baby Alpinist in a future video, but for now, I want to go ahead and move on to this TAG Heuer Formula One chronograph. Now, this was another on a whim watch. I saw it for a really good deal and was a little bit sketched out by the price that it was listed for. So it was listed for $400, which made me think that this was a fake. I was a little sketched out by it, so I ended up reaching out to the guy, and I had him meet me at the TAG Heuer store in my city, and he obliged to it. So we went there, and they ended up authenticating the watch for me, which was awesome. You can see the back design of this is not the most fancy watch in the world, and I don't think this watch is trying to be anything other than just a good chronograph for you to have. It is a quartz movement, which doesn't bother me all that much. I actually really like quartz watches as grab and go pieces, and this has been dead accurate, not even losing a second over the past 2 months that I've had it. So quality control on TAG Heuer, you can say what you want, but I think this watch is excellent. I love this chronograph movement. It's very, very accurate. I use it for cooking all the time, actually, and I've fallen head over heels for this watch. Again, it's quartz. I don't necessarily understand the quartz hate. I do love mechanical movements, and I love what they stand for, but having a quartz piece in your collection is so convenient to have to be able to just grab and go. This watch has 200 meters of water resistance, and I think watches really get their personality from looks. I love Formula One, and this watch just means a lot to me. Being able to watch Formula One and have this on and have TAG be the title sponsor, I think is really cool. Again, it runs well within specs, and this is another top 4 in my collection that I just grab and wear all the time. So here that watch is on my wrist. It is 43 millimeters across, and I think, again, this suits medium to large size wrists really well. I have it on an AliExpress Tropic strap because I hated the strap that came with it. It came on a rubber strap directly from TAG, and it was just an uncomfortable watch. But this is one of those watches where, again, I bought on a whim, and just when you're going online to buy a watch, always do your due diligence. Be sure to check out the authentication of these watches. I bought this naked. I'm very glad I went and got it authenticated by TAG Heuer, just so that way I had that peace of mind. But just be sure that you're looking out for things. You can end up getting great deals on Facebook Marketplace. Again, I only got this for $350, and I'm so glad I took the risk on it and ended up purchasing it. All right, so final watch in the collection, and this is actually the Grail piece that I'm getting rid of a couple watches to help me fund. This is a watch that I found back in 2023 with a friend of mine who showed it to me, who actually owned it, and I immediately fell in love. This watch reminded me a lot of a Tudor, or of a Rolex Submariner, and kind of the Tudor Submariner with the homage back with these square index markers and the snowflake hands. And I just absolutely love the aesthetic and simple layout of this watch, along with its quirks. I think a lot of things that I end up loving are due to their quirks rather than not liking something because of their quirks. I love the stupid excessive text on the dial. I love how thick it is. It's 14.5 millimeters thick. I love this ridiculous clasp, even though this one is particularly scratched up from me wearing it a lot recently, but the design is awesome, but the look of it is really, really dumb. And I just think it's a great, great watch. The bezel action on it is just so smooth. It's the best bezel I've ever turned. There's a ceramic ball bearing inside of it that just makes it turn so effortlessly. And this was a watch that I've been wanting ever since 2023. The overkill depth rating is something hilarious on it, 500 meters. And this was just one of those watches that I immediately fell in love with and have been lusting after ever since I first saw it. I got engaged this last November and I wore that Seiko back there, the SBSC009. I'll never get rid of that. And my fiance ended up purchasing this with me 2 weeks ago, and I have not been able to get it off of my wrist. I absolutely adore it. I plan to wear it to my wedding, to people's chagrin. And this is obviously a top 4 watch in my collection that I will never be getting rid of. The specs on the watch are excellent. I love the titanium. It makes it feel substantial without it feeling fatiguing on the wrist. It suits my relatively large wrist really well, and the spring action is just so, so good. Overall, this is my favorite watch I have ever purchased in tandem with my fiance, and this is just an all-time classic for me, and I think will be a future classic in the years going forward. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, Preston, why would you buy this watch for your wedding and not the Black Bay 41 monochrome? I got this because I love the simple tool nature of it. I think it goes with anything. I have worn it with a suit jacket and it's looked great. I've worn it with a t-shirt and it looks awesome. This is just one of those watches that I could see being an only watch for somebody. The design of it is just so unique. It's so Tudor. And the titanium is just such an awesome metal to have. It makes it so wearable. And it's just an excellent piece that I highly recommend to people. I think it's the best dive watch on the market. And if you have the opportunity to go try one of these on or purchase one of these watches, I think you can't go wrong with it. I prefer it to the Black Bay 58. I prefer it to the Black Bay 41 monochrome. I prefer it to a lot of Rolexes. This is just one of those watches that has such a unique identity and is so Tudor that it's just an all-time classic to me. So to wrap up the collection, I want to talk about this. This is a Seestern Sub600t, and people call this an homage. I call this a straight-up clone, but that didn't stop me from purchasing it. The reason I got it was to be a potential replacement for the Seiko King Turtle, so I could sell off some watches to help continue to fund that Tudor Pelagos. And I bought this on sale for $101 about 4 weeks ago, and it took another 4 weeks to arrive. I love the styling of the Doxa Sub600t, and I wanted to try out a quirky design without spending all of the money, and I ended up pulling the trigger on this. And I'm going to do some comparisons with this, the King Turtle, the Pelagos, the Casio Duro, just kind of almost as like a price tier list to show you what you can get for your money. And this quality of this watch is actually really high. I love the styling. It's obviously not original. It's very derivative. It's actually entirely derivative of the Doxa Sub600t. But again, that didn't stop me from wanting to try it out. The bezel on it is really, really solid. I think it has a better bezel action than the Casio Duro. It's up there with the Seiko King Turtle in terms of bezel action. The bracelet articulates well and is comfortable, and it looks good on my relatively large wrist. Frankly, I think Doxa did a great job with this design, and I'm glad Seestern had this available on sale. I think if you only have $150 to spend on a dive watch, this is a great option. It has a ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, glow-in-the-dark date window, which is such a cool little nod from Seestern and actually isn't on the Casio Sub600t, and I think it's just a great watch. Now, do I think that people should be going and buying these clones all the time from China? No, I don't think that's necessarily a fair thing, and I sound hypocritical and I know it, but I do think this is a fun watch to have, and I am gonna do some comparisons with it, and I think I'm gonna end up giving this watch away. It is such a cool watch, but it's just not something that I grab for and wear all the time. So if you've made it this far in the video, I truly appreciate you watching. This is a channel that I want to use to add my voice into the ever-growing group of watch enthusiasts. This is obviously my first full-fat video, and I really appreciate y'all watching. And the goal with this channel is to help continue to cultivate the ever-growing watch community and enthusiasts with more attainable pieces and also reviews and head-to-heads that I think are interesting. I want to continue to help build the collection, give people insights into what watches work for them, and be able to talk to people that aren't my friends and family who are tired of hearing me talk about this hobby. So thanks again for clicking on the video. I really appreciate the views. If you have any comments, please leave them below so I can review those, and let me know of any updates that you want to see, any videos that you want to watch, any head-to-head battles that you think are interesting, or any watches that you think I should acquire. So with all that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Seestern giveaway. I'm going to do a head-to-head with that and the other dive watches in my collection in a separate video. And in that video, I'll give some details into how the giveaway will actually work. And hopefully at the end of that, we'll be able to have details on how you can enter the giveaway and how you can hopefully win that watch. So again, I really appreciate you watching. This has been Preston Snoggle. Thank you.